Do you believe George Bush knew about 9/11?
I don't think he knew. I think there was information that was indicative that such a thing was going to go on, but whether or not somebody sorted through the false alarms and misinformation to give credence to what was pretty sound intelligence is another thing. And I'll give you an example of that. Why isn't
Yes, I know, my man. Trap files we had, Big Head Reese. Came to see if Judge Joe Brown just speaking facts. With Judge Joe now, because now he talk about everything. That's what I like to call him. He talk about George Bush and the 9/11 tax, and just let's listen to what he got to say.
somebody upset in the Democratic Party about the southern border being wide open and Al Qaeda, ISIS, Hamas, etc., Iran, North Korea, etc., and a lot of radical fanatics around the world with a deep and abiding hatred of the United States were allowed the opportunity to walk across our southern border with no investigation, no stop, no vetting, with backpacks filled with military grade explosives that they've had ample opportunity to set in various critical targets that they don't even have to play suicide bomber anymore. They can detonate from 4 or 5 miles away and watch the sky light up and the fireworks.
Yo, I like Judge Joe Brown. He one of them old heads. Like if you got all day, no matter what he talk about, he gonna give you some game with it. Like he talk real patiently, real slow. He just sound like he about to give you some pimp-ish afterwards. Like as far as what he's saying about the Bush with the 9/11 and the immigrants and all that, I mean, he ain't lying. He a judge. He probably seen some paperwork we ain't never see. That's how it go.
So
You're not going to stop anything that Blake
Commercial
said. You
time.
got.
I ain't gonna get the commercials. They little props real quick. Let's get that.
why is no one paying attention to these indicia that there is a disaster that's about to occur in the United States that would make 911 look like a 4th of July fireworks display?
But look at the moves Trump making. Is Trump making sure that don't happen? Maybe Trump, you know what I mean? He the one that's looking, Judge Joe.
Rather than a serious consequence. Is that the same kind of situation that was ignored under the Bush administration? And
Mm-hmm.
see, the Bush administration is suspect. It's called Halliburton, and it's called Zapata Offshore Oil Inc. Uh, Zapata Oil was created by George Herbert Walker Bush.
He couldn't talk like this when he had the show. When he had the show, that type of law was all he wanted him to know. Now you can tell he feel much more free, relaxed, and he can just chill and just spit what he know, what he been wanting to say, what's been on his mind for years. I'm gonna let him talk.
And it was a corporate entity that he set up under George Herbert Walker, Uncle Herbie.
Uncle Herbie.
And Uncle Herbie, George Herbert Walker, had refounded Halliburton in 1946 in Oklahoma after it had originally been founded in Oklahoma in 1919, I believe, but went defunct. And Uncle Herbie was feeding George Herbert Walker Bush information about where Halliburton was going to finance or develop oil fields that would start being pumped out.
Huh?
And what Zapata Oil was doing is giving the property owners cash for a percentage of their mineral rights. The property owners didn't realize it, but Bush, Senior Bush, knew that oil was going to be pumped, so he was buying 15, 20, 25% of their mineral rights. So 3 or 4 years after he bought the rights, he would start getting big money in from the money that would be going to people whose properties ring these oil strikes for these fields where they were going to pump oil. He then set up something.
The way he explaining it, he making it sound like it was criminal. Like we on the show. Like, and why ain't nobody get booked? Explain that, Judge. You know the law. Explain that part.
Thing called Zapata Offshore Oil Inc., which was a holding company chartered in, guess where? Kuwait. So what wound up happening is when Hussein nationalized everything in Kuwait, the Bush family was effectively destitute. So after a successful conclusion to Gulf War I, the Bush family was rolling again because they got control of the money. Now, Halliburton in 2000 had been involved in intense negotiations with Iraq, Saddam Hussein, etc., to get the rights to exploit Iraqi oil. Well, France and Russia won and got the contract. We had 911, and that was in 2001. And then we got 2003, we have the false assertion of weapons of mass destruction being in Iraq, and we go in and invade Iraq, and what winds up happening is in 2007, Halliburton gets the rights to exploit Iraqi oil. And the last time I checked, been a while ago, but in 2008, Halliburton was netting somewhere between 2.3 and about $2.8 million every 7 hours out of what it was picking up out of Iraq through the ability to exploit Iraqi oil.
7 hours, $3 million.
Halliburton is a Bushwalker family enterprise. Caught up.
How that scheme sound? Every 7 hours, about $300 for 20 years.
In it, and I alluded to this the last time I was on, you have Lolo Sotoro, who was the Indonesian oil baron. He was involved with Zapata Offshore Oil Inc. and Halliburton. And his
like a Diddy party.
Stepson was the son of a certain American woman from Kansas whose father was first cousin to George Herbert Walker Bush, and George Herbert Walker was his uncle, and George Walker Bush was his second cousin. And
so just say the whole family getting it, bro. The whole Bushes, baked beans, all of them, they all getting it,
man. His grandson, Barry Sotoro, we know as Barack Obama, was cousin to George Herbert Walker Bush, cousin to George Walker Bush, and also to the other cousin who was chairman and CEO formerly of Halliburton, we know as Vice President Dick Cheney. So all of them were cousins. There's another cousin that was involved in this, Warren Buffett, the billionaire, and there was another cousin who ran against Barack Obama when he first got elected. She was John McCain's running mate, and there was Sarah Palin, governor of Alaska. All of these people are family members. So you have to look at the records if they are available.
That Christmas probably be crazy if they all family members. Birthday, every party, everything probably be lit if they all family members.
Available, and they're alluded to in various places. Used to be Google, but you won't find them on Google anymore. About the relationship of Lolo Sotoro, the Indonesian oil baron, and Halliburton, and also the oil exploitation. So all of these people are involved with each other.
Joe, did you ever take a oil donation from them? You know all this information. Did you ever take a donation?
And the ancestor is a person known as Samuel Hinckley,
Yeah, he took a donation.
Hinkley. And the references to him on Google have disappeared to a great extent, but you can still find stuff archived. He had as descendants 7 people who were U.S. presidents, 1 U.S. vice president, quite a few governors, quite a few U.S. senators, and quite a few U.S. members of the House of Representatives. So
All from one
he had
person.
been an indentured servant, a Huguenot Protestant who had to flee France due to Catholic persecution. And he sold himself as an indentured servant for a number of decades to
Sold
get
himself.
transportation over to the New World, where he could be free to practice his Protestant
I gotta
religion.
get to America.
I guess his
One thing you gotta say, people gotta get to America. When they get to America, maybe not their generation, maybe not the next, but somebody make it happen once they get here.
descendants did real well, and he would have been one of those people that under Article 1 of the Constitution was part of the 3/5 bunch for purposes of apportioning representation in the U.S. House of Representatives. Intriguing background when you back off and look at it. So Barack Obama was running against a cousin when he ran for president the first time.
He said Obama was running against his cousin the first time. Joe speaking facts or no, man? We gotta read some of these comments, see what the people saying, cause they could just be talking. Skull and bones. Yeah, I think Bush, look at people skull and bones. Not gonna lie, this was more interesting than I expected. Yeah, I can't lie about that neither. Shout out to the art, man. Art always got some good work, man. Judge of the dialogue. I want to hear him go off about Jeffrey Epstein. Yes, he knew, no doubt whatsoever. Man, everything is out open, right? Everything coming out there. The video feels comfortable from the start to finish. I said that he feel like a real old head that know what he talking about. And I make you feel real comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Judge had a lot to say in that joint. I like when he sit down with Art. Y'all think he was speaking facts about the September 11th attack? He said Bush and Obama and all of them. I knew Obama had to be a twist. He just came out of nowhere. Like, talk to me, man. Make sure you subscribe. It's Big Head Reese. Get in my comments. Let me know what you think. Check the files. Is Judge Joe speaking facts or no?